My brother said, let's get rid of the useless. I still remember the exact moment my brother said those words, the kind that don't just hurt you for a second, but stay with you forever. We were sitting in a cold hospital hallway, the smell of disinfectant heavy in the air, machines beeping behind closed doors, and our mom inside one of those rooms fighting for her life. Time felt slow, heavy, like every second mattered. We had been sitting there in silence for hours, maybe even days, and the tension between us said more than words ever could. Then suddenly my brother leaned back in his chair and said in a almost emotionless voice, maybe it's time we get rid of the useless one. At first I thought he was talking about something else, maybe the old house or the broken car, but then he looked straight at me, and everything became clear. He meant me, his own brother, the one who grew up with him. In that moment, it felt like the ground disappeared beneath me. The truth is, I was never the successful one. He had everything, job, money, respect, and me, I had unfinished dreams, failures, and a life that never quite worked out. Maybe deep down, I had already started believing I wasn't enough, but hearing it from him broke something inside me. That night, I didn't argue. I didn't defend myself. I just stood up and walked away. Over the next few days, I barely spoke to him. Instead, I spent all my time in my mom's hospital room, sitting beside her bed, holding her hand, talking to her even when she couldn't respond. I told her stories, apologized for things I never said, and hoped somehow she could still hear me. I handled everything, talking to nurses, managing her medications, signing papers, dealing with bills, making sure she was never alone, especially at night when the hospital felt even colder. My brother, he came and went, always busy, always distracted, always with something important to do. And I didn't stop him. I just did what needed to be done. Then one morning, everything changed. The machine slowed, then stopped. The room went silent in a way that didn't feel real. And just like that, she was gone. The funeral came quickly. People gathered, cried, shared memories. And once again, my brother was the center of attention. Everyone praised him for being strong, for handling everything. And I stood in the background quietly watching. No one noticed who stayed every night in the hospital, who handled the bills, who held her hand in her final moments. But I didn't expect them to. Some sacrifices are invisible. A month later, my phone rang. It was my brother. I hesitated, then answered. His voice was different this time, softer, unsure. After a long pause, he said, I messed up. I stayed silent. Then he told me he had gone through the hospital records, the bills, everything I had handled alone. For the first time, he saw it all. He said, I didn't realize what you were doing for mom. Then there was silence again. And finally, he said something I never expected to hear. You were never useless. I was just too blind to see it. I closed my eyes for a moment. Part of me wanted to feel something. Validation, relief, but instead I just felt tired. It had taken too long. I didn't argue. I didn't remind him of what he said that night. I just replied quietly, I know. And that was it. Because sometimes people don't see your value while you're giving everything. They only realize it when it's too late. And by then, you've already learned that your worth was never defined by them.